Mike Top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day, Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucs on the goal line, Bulls ride or die, from the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show. Hey, Tampa Bay.
All right, welcome into a Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show as SEC Media Days continues here in Tampa. John Summerall, the new Florida coach, is going to take the podium here at 10:30. We're going to try to get that feed for you. If not, we'll just be talking a little bit of Gator football today as they kind of take center stage here in Tampa as SEC Media Days rolls on. Alex Golish yesterday blowing off the local media here as the new Auburn head coach. Shocking. Probably a good play on his part. But whatever. It's the Gators today, and it's very interesting years for the Florida Gators. So we'll talk some Gator football here as we roll through it. The Rays with a huge win last night, and every time we watch the Rays win, we try to look at certain aspects of their game and extrapolate out to the future what this means. And I think we saw a lot of things last night that show why the Rays win lots of baseball games, because they can do it in so many ways. So we'll get into that a little bit today. That'll be the theme of our Rays discussion. I'm going to talk a little O-line preview for the Buccaneers as we get set for training camp, which starts next Tuesday. Veterans report next Tuesday. I think rookies report on Monday. So we are into it as far as football season goes. Yay. Big freaking yay. Good morning to you, Timmy. How are you, my friend?
I am alive and well in the sweltering heat of North Texas.
And
good Lord.
I woke up this morning to a beautiful walk on Tampa Bay with Tally the Wonder Dog. And when a hurricane comes through or a tropical storm comes through, like the back end of it sucks all the moisture out.
Yeah.
So today we just had these beautiful crystal blue skies, not a cloud in the sky, and humidity was down. So for a mid-July day, it was absolutely spectacular. And
I saw some tornado warnings happening. And was that around Tampa yesterday?
It was for the last 4 days. It's been miserable. Because that tropical storm's been out in the Gulf. But, it's beautiful today. It'll turn sweltering hot tomorrow. But good. I'm sure the people from all over the SEC. And by the way, Tampa just, getting rave reviews for the SEC Media Days. So many people haven't been here in a long time. A lot of friends of mine in the business I talked to, just they haven't been here. It's like, I haven't been here in like 10 years. He goes, this is like completely different. And I'm like, yeah. It is, it's the last time they were here. The Riverwalk was just, I think probably just had gotten started. All down at Water Street, which Water Street, literally Vinnick's development has doubled the size of our skyline and probably tripled the number of great restaurants and bars to hang out in downtown. Downtown has exploded in the last decade. So all these guys are coming here going, damn, a lot of them haven't been here since the 2017 national championship. And it's like, holy shit, this is, I'm like, why do you think everybody's moving here? We've already had the move in, move out cycle. People come and go, that's too expensive. I can't afford this. I'm out. But it's getting rave reviews. And, as we just look to the future and what this new Rays Stadium is going to bring in the entertainment district around it in terms of major events, it really puts Tampa, I think, to a top 5 position in terms of hosting major events, especially when we revamp the Bucs Stadium as well, up that capacity, hopefully get some type of shade, which Mr. Clendenin talked about last week on the show. Suddenly you got a great Super Bowl venue stadium, a great outdoor stadium, and now you've got an indoor stadium where you could probably fit 35 to 40,000 people in terms of concerts or wrestling events or Final Fours or any of that. And it's just the beauty of Tampa, the surrounding areas, like what other place, even if you're talking about Miami, which becomes a logistic nightmare because the football stadium is so far out to the west. It's and impossible to get to from South Beach to the football stadium is a 45-hour ride. Whereas in downtown Tampa, it's 10, 15 minutes to the stadium. Like there's an event tonight at Ray J for media days. And, the people that are staying downtown, they'll take a trolley or whatever. And you're right there to the entertainment district. And hopefully when we get the light rail built, you're jumping on the train and going right to the sports complex and of course the airport if you need be. I mean, it's Tampa. Once this is done, and I'm just going to start talking about it. It's already done because that's the way I feel, and I've felt for a long time.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, in terms of hosting major events, and even this like SEC Media Days, people like, oh wow, that's a nice thing to have. It's huge. I mean, imagine the major markets that are being fed by this, and the scenery of Tampa and the downtown, and don't forget, we have the beaches which everybody loves, but we have all the water downtown. I mean, downtown Tampa sits on a huge bay, and all of the activities are around the water. You come in, and the convention center's right there on the water. Amalie Benchmark Arena is right there on the water, and everything else around it. So it just becomes this. We now, and it's kind of a little bit of a missing piece to have an indoor facility that can host that many people. I mean, that's a big deal. So I'm super excited about where this city is headed, where this market is headed. I do believe that without question, this is going to get done. If for some reason it did not, it just, man, what a colossal failure, a colossal opportunity just lost.
So can I ask you a completely sports unrelated question about the local climate in Tampa?
Yes, sir.
What's the local take on Busch Gardens? Do people care about Busch Gardens? Do people what's the intent? I mean, I don't know. Look, and the reason I ask is because my family took a trip to Busch Gardens when I was about 3. And I have 8mm videotape of me and my family at Busch Gardens at the age of 3.
Yeah.
And I can remember my dad telling me, as we're watching it when I'm a little bit older, I'm like, what the hell is Busch Gardens? What is this? And I don't think for my whole life, I knew that it was, I think there's others around the country now, but I never knew Busch Gardens was in Tampa for one thing until maybe a couple of years ago. I never hear anything about Busch Gardens.
Well, a lot of people SEC Media Days, they have anytime there's a major event here, like there's a bowl game, the players go to Busch Gardens. If there's the SEC Media Day, they had an event at Busch Gardens. So everybody's taking advantage of it. It is when you talk about, if you're a roller coaster ride guy, it's one of the premier places in America. You got to go. It has some of the greatest roller coasters. If you're into that, It's like a must do. I mean, quite frankly, it's desperately in need of a makeover. It's almost getting to the point where it's retro. So you're like, you're close to should we redo this or just can it? And it functions. It again has great rides. It's just when you go to Universal, when you go to Disney, when you go to those theme parks, and then you go to Busch Gardens, it's like, this is the mid-level. It's just not. The buildings are old. Right. Some of it's new, but the buildings are old.
I mean, I was looking it up. It opened in 1959.
Yeah, and it's desperately in need of a major makeover. And it's in a really sketchy part of town, frankly.
Which probably wasn't when they built it, obviously.
No, it was on the outskirts. But that whole area is being gentrified, like Tampa. So I would hate to lose Busch Gardens. I think it's a fantastic, first of all, for the value. You get a Busch Gardens pass for all year long. I mean, it's an incredible value. If you're into rides and into that stuff, it is an incredible value. And they have a lot of great events they do there. Their food and wine festivals, and they have different ones. They're part of the SeaWorld. SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are linked, and we had those passes for a couple of years, and we would go to Busch Gardens all the time. It's easy in and easy out. I'll tell you that. It's not as crowded as some of these other parks. Their savannah that they have there of the animals is tremendous. And so they got so many great things. It's got great bones. It's like a house that's just desperately in need of renovation. And
So-
I think, who owns it? Obviously Anheuser-Busch owns it or whatever the new conglomerate is. Forget the name of it. They have to make a decision probably pretty soon. Like, are we going to dump, $1 billion into this thing and make it something really cool? Or are we going to let it just kind of die on the vine? I don't, that's just my read on it. I think it's way too big of an asset and an awesome asset to lose. Because there's just so much cool stuff that they do there. Like I said, the bones are great. It needs a renovation.
Where would it rank? Like, you've been there a long time, or other residents that have been there a long time in Tampa. You've got a family member or a longtime friend coming in from out of town.
I think it's a must do.
You're making a list of okay, this guy, it might be their only trip to Tampa. Here's a list of things I have to show them, the places I have to take them. Like, where would it rank on that list of the top 10 places that you have to take a guy from out of town?
I think it's a top 5 thing. It's a must do.
All right.
Now, especially if you're into rides and roller coasters, like their roller coasters are premier. And a lot of people are into that stuff. When I was younger, I loved it. Now I do those things and I'm sick for a week. It doesn't work with my equilibrium anymore as an old guy. But yeah, Ashley loves it. Ashley loves those and she's a roller coaster person and rides person. She loves it. And some of theirs are the best. There's a class of, they have the huge ones, the Iron Gwazi. I'm not going to get on there, but they have a lower class one that's easy for me. Like I thought that I loved. So they've got some rides for everybody that are pretty cool, and they have the Mac Daddies as well. So that's why I'm saying it's a must do. And the safari part of it, the safari train is outstanding. They've got a great array of animals out there that you can get really, really up close to. Casey says the beer garden was the shit back in the day. Yeah, and it hasn't changed much. And that actually has a kind of a cool retro feel to it now. When you go into their little beer room, but it's just a little bit. It needs a renovation, and I wish they would put some money into it because it's a treasure.
I didn't mean to get into a Busch Gardens commercial. That's just something that's.
I like when we take a little bit of these tangents. Nathan says, "Stop it. Busch Gardens just needs to grow a bit. Wipe out the crash neighborhoods around it. Build some new areas. That would be awesome. I think it's worth the investment. Especially where it's located. In Tampa, and you have the people that come to Orlando. I'm sure there's a group because when you buy a SeaWorld ticket, you can use it in Busch Gardens, and they have a bus that goes back and forth too. So I think it's one of our great treasures in this area. Just in my opinion, it needs a little bit of a facelift. Nice. Oh wait, Jumbo FPS says $100 million being invested into Busch Gardens. Well, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah. It's Bright Brain says I used to live near Busch Garden. It is in an F area. Yeah. It's not a great area, but that, be that as it may, I still think you can, and $100 million will go a long way towards making that place the shit. Alejandro says he'll go Disney, Busch Gardens #2, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Aquatica, Walt Disney Water Park.
Okay. Some of those things are in Orlando though, right? I'm just talking about Tampa proper. Like, do y'all take people all the way to Orlando to go to Disney World or something when you got friends that come in town? Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
What's that, an hour and a half drive?
Yeah, less, an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Depending on I-4. It could be an hour and 15, could be 5. Casey Eagle says new attractions and major changes. Kumba's Revenge. The 33-year-old Kumba roller coaster will close on August 2nd, making way for a new thrill experience tied to the multi-year $100 million upgrade. Well, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool place. I would definitely say it's a must do if you're coming here to visit Tampa Bay. Absolutely.
Sweet.
All right. So let's get into today's show. The Rays last night with a big 12-2 win over the Blue Jays. They're second in a row. Still now with the best record in the American League at 58-42. Now 2 games up on the Yankees. A little history made last night. The third team in the history of baseball to have the 6 and 7 hitters, Chandler Simpson and Ben Williamson, get 4 hits. How about that? It's the third time in the history of the game. And Chandler was the quintessential Chandler Simpson game last night. In fact, the hardest hit ball he had was an out last night. Had a bunt, incredible bunt hit, a swinging bunt, a blooper, and another infield chopper. And the infield chopper to the first, well, two of them, you literally said, how the hell did he beat that out? There was a ground ball to short where he crossed over second base a little bit and moving towards first base, scooped it and threw it fluently, no hesitation whatsoever, and he beat it by a step. I mean, it's insane watching this kid play baseball. And they told a story last night on the broadcast where Kevin Cash went to him when he was struggling a little bit and said, hey, man, you're here to stay. You're here to stay. You're not going back to Durham. Just relax, do your thing. And he has taken off big time since that. And he's really, really found his game. And he's such a dangerous weapon out there. And I love the way BA on the broadcast really accentuates the nuances of what he does on the base paths, because I think a lot of people miss it. Constant overthrows, forced a balk the other night that turned into a run. He just constantly just frustrates the pitcher, which is why I would love to see him more at the top of the lineup, but I'm going to lose that argument, I guess. And they're just going to, it's hard to argue when you're scoring 12 runs, but they also go into lulls. I just think him at the top of the lineup with all the guys, the tremendous trio behind him, and what he does to pitchers would just tremendously benefit everybody, but whatever. Maybe someday they'll get there. And I think he should be in that spot. And maybe they're just waiting for him to mature a little bit, get a little bit more comfortable with his station in Major League Baseball, get him a little bit more confidence, and then try him again at the top. That's probably what they're doing. But he's just, where he's at right now is fantastic, and he's affecting the game, and that's all you can ask. But I just love watching him play baseball. It's one of my favorite parts of watching Rays baseball because it's just old school. And they bunted a couple times last night, almost got him in from third, but Taylor Walls bunted it directly back to the pitcher. Terrible bunt. Any other place would have he scores, but so he screwed that up a couple times. It's interesting early on in this game, Yandy has right off the top a 12 pitch at bat against Gossman. And that just sets the tone. Yeah. That set the tone for the whole freaking night. And it just puts the pitcher on his back foot, and it's like, oh, they're exhausted. And what do you know? He even had 2 strikes on Caminero. At 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on, turns into a 3-run inning for Gossman. And DeLuca gets a bloop hit to right field. It drops in and 2-run score. As a pitcher, you're just like, phew. And if you're a Toronto pitcher and you're Gossman, who's just had nothing but bad luck all year long and just everything has gone against them, where everything went for them last year in their World Series run, everything has gone against them. I have never seen, Timmy, a team that was so good last year, basically brings back the same team and is so bad. This never happens in football. Baseball is such an effed up game. Yeah. Think about a team like the 2021 Buccaneers, the year after we won the Super Bowl. We bring almost everybody back. Win 13 games, should have gone further into playoffs, but that's a whole nother story. 13 games. When you bring back the almost same exact baseball team for Toronto, and what are they, 10 games under, I forget, 15 games under 500? They're terrible. Vlad Guerrero doesn't have a home run in a Rogers Center since last August.
It's insane.
None here. Or I should say regular season. He hit one in the home run.
Fire John Schneider.
Yeah. I mean, what? How that would never happen in football. You bring back the same roster, and they've had no catastrophic injuries for the most part that I can think of. And they're just, but that's baseball. That's baseball, man. It's such a weird freaking game. And you see, Fortes hits a home run last night. Yandy goes deep last night. They played really good defensive baseball, and Rasmussen gets out of a jam in the first. Something I've not seen him do, by the way. Fortes is catching last night, and Rasmussen got frustrated with him because evidently he wasn't setting up the way he wanted him to set up. And he just yelled at him, and he's like, hey, sit in the middle of the plate. Sit in the middle of the plate, put your body in the middle of the plate, and let the ball run and catch it. Something I'm sure probably he's been frustrated with. And once he did that, Rasmussen kind of got into his groove. He gets out of that jam in the first, and then he's off and running. So it's a thin line between the Rays leading 3-0 in that game or the Blue Jays leading 3-0 in that game. It's such a thin line, and that's baseball. That's just the game. And you've got to roll with those punches. You got to be able to just roll with the punches. And I think the thing that really impresses me about the Rays is how many ways they can beat you. Mm-hmm. Last night they hit a couple of home runs. They've had more home runs than any team in baseball in the month of July. Who saw that coming? Right? I mean, that's crazy. And Mullins is hitting home runs and Fortes is hitting. Victor Mesa Jr. is hitting home runs. Yandy goes deep last night. So, yeah, they can get you with the long ball. They can small ball you to health, smart ball, small ball, whatever you want to say. They can pitch you to death. And then on nights like last night, when everything goes their way, they're just a dominant baseball team. So this is what lasts. It's like having good defense in football. Defense, if you have a consistent defense, you're in every single game. And you got to have a chance to win. And for the Rays, they can beat you in so many ways. If your power is slumping, they can small ball you to death, smart ball you to death. If they're not scoring a whole lot of runs, their pitching staff can pick you up at times. Now, this is not to say this is a complete team. That is not what I'm saying. But this foundation that they have and the way they win games, and Cash, is an absolute master. We criticize him at times for certain things, but nobody gets all their hunches right or makes all the right. But in general, he does a hell of a job, obviously. So I love the way they're working. And this is what makes it so exciting is there's room for growth. There's really room for growth. You can add another consistent arm at the top of the rotation since McClanahan is falling away. You hope he finds it, but at this point you think maybe he's not. So they need probably another frontline pitcher. They could use some help in the bullpen if none of these guys come back from the minor leagues, and they need another big bat. And I think we can all see that. So let's see what happens at the deadline. But watching this team play baseball last night, the last 2 nights has been really, really good. Now, you might say, well, they played a hot Red Sox team and a really good Red Sox team, and they didn't play so well. Okay, fair enough. Are they taking advantage of a bad team on a bad run? 100%. 100% they are. But that's what you got to do. You could have come in here and continued to slide. But, they stopped that. Nick Martinez stopped it yesterday. And now 2 games in a row, they've outscored the Blue Jays 19-3. That's good baseball, man. And the Blue Jays I know they're struggling. They're still they're a good baseball team. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of talent out there. But that last night it was fun to watch. It was really fun to watch.
Is the Rays record against the Blue Jays this year, is that a little bit of karma for John Schneider's comments when he was in Tampa last year a little bit?
Meaning when it was too hot?
Not a baseball town, yeah. Because
it was too hot for him, yeah. And there's what, minor league baseball. Yeah, a little bit. I think they got their revenge last year, though.
They did, yeah.
Should have won the World Series, but they didn't. So, yeah, good for him. But they own the Blue Jays. This is their 9th straight year winning the season series with the Blue Jays. Take that, Canada. Take that, Canada. Your Canadian team there. Eh?
Oh, it's not my Canadian team. My Canadian team's playing in Washington right now.
So we do own Canada. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see if we got any comments here from you folks about Beza Ball. Pooh Sheisty's in this morning. Says Orlando is really pushing their dream of owning an MLB team. If Tampa and Hillsborough drop the ball, I could see the Rays moving up by 4. Stop it, bro. Can we just stop talking about it? Orlando, love you, babe, but you're not getting a baseball team, and you're certainly not getting the Rays. That's just not happening. They can squawk all they want. Yeah, it's not happening. Guys, listen. All the media stuff, you need to really understand how the media works, guys. They're just drumming up for clicks, man. MLB has no interest in Orlando. You would have seen it by now. And for the first time ever, the public officials in Orlando were considering doing something that is anywhere near a political move. And that's maybe saying we'll put $1 billion aside for a stadium, which is what the Rays are going to get here. They don't have a site. They don't have a feasible site. They don't have an established fan base. They got nothing. And they don't have an owner. Their owner left town. So I just stop it with Orlando. Pusheisty says, I think the deal will get done on Dale Mabry, but Orlando and about a dozen other cities are ready. That should just light a fire under local politicians. Well, you would think. Let's see who else is in here this morning. Bucs Skull Game says, this is amazing for the Rays, but I want this deal done to happen. It'll happen. And it's Timmy. I don't know if you get the sense, but fans are still a little bit. They're still not all in, like on this Rays season, and I get it. And they're not in on the team until they get a forever home. That's why it's one of the reasons when the owners listen to this show that they zeroed in on the Rays, because they saw and listened and heard the fans kind of sitting on the sidelines. This is the 11th largest market. We've never really activated baseball the way we should. Toronto puts 43,000 in the seats last night for dollar hot dog night. What, 79,000 glizzies went down, or 89,000? That's a lot of oof. They were eating them big time last night. And they love baseball there. But, and obviously we've never done well with attendance, and it's because of the way we've done baseball. I'm not saying we're putting 40,000 in there every night. There's only be 31,000 seats, but I think it's going to be very well attended. Very well attended. Alejandro says, good morning. What an ass whooping for the Blue Jays, and let the Rays continue since we beat the Jays' two best pitchers. How important is it for the Rays to make a big trade now? Yeah. And it's, in a 4-game series like this, you got a chance to sweep 4 now that you got, getting into their worst pitchers. So let's go. Pooh Shiesty says, Bucs training camp coming up soon. Can't wait to fire the cannons. Yep. Next week, people, we will be out there every day, getting the interviews, giving you the best coverage. Right after practice ends, we'll be back on. I'll be in here smelling like
it's gonna be
whatever.
So hot.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother. I can find shade out there. It's all good. Just thank God I'm not practicing in the helmet. Did you guys see?
And then they're gonna put pads on eventually too.
Did you guys see the A's player that hit himself in the cojones?
Yeah. Did you see what happened to him?
And then he steps up and rips a single, smokes the ball.
We have the medical diagnosis though this morning.
What is the medical diagnosis?
A ruptured testicle.
Oh. You know what though? He took it and then stood in the box and knocked it into the outfield. So he did baseball players well.
Yeah.
He
played baseball like a hockey player last night.
He did. He sure as hell did. And that needed to be done. So he's got a ruptured testicle.
Ruptured testicle.
I don't want to get too graphic, but that probably is swelling.
I think that hurts.
Yeah,
you think it's elephantitis like right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Man. When I saw that, and it was the announcer said, it's a 1 strike, no ball count.
1 strike, no balls.
Oh, he's got 2, and they're rather swollen.
Lord.
Douglas Batista, one of our great members, says, nice Rays win. Rays, Rasmussen got out of the jam in the first. That was key. Tonight, overall, Jax has been good as a starter, but not comfortable with him. And Seymour has 4 or 5 in the rotation. Need a starter at the deadline. Amen, brother. Seymour's had his moments. He has had his moments. And so is Jax. Jax's numbers are really good. It's just when he gets in a jam, you get nervous. He's just got to stay out front. He's got to stay out front, keep people off the bases, and get the strikeouts. And it's kind of like me in golf. As long as I'm hitting greens, it's all good. We're all having a good time. But when I got a chip, when I got to hit And I got the yips. I can turn a driver wedge hole into a 6 in a heartbeat. Jax is like that. He'll get, as long as he's hitting greens, man, he's great. But when he gets a little bit of adversity, things go sideways. A lot of double bogeys, triple bogeys. Rays are ready to start Hillsborough County construction, says Nathan Comments. Yeah, and I've told you guys this, and I'll reiterate it. All the stuff that needs to happen behind the scenes, getting permits, demolition permits, all those things that needed to happen at Hillsborough College, those have been happening for months and months and months. The meeting last Friday between the staffs was highly, highly productive, I'm told. There was a sense in the room that this is definitely getting done. All the questions are being answered. The politicians, the city council folks are getting what they need, as we told you they would. So, yeah, we're very, very, very bullish on this right now. Busheisty says, once we build the new Rays Stadium, it will make these media days even better. Yeah, can you imagine? Because that will, a lot of that will move into the huge, beautiful air-conditioned space that is our baseball stadium. Now, there'll still be plenty of stuff for the hotels to do. Don't get it wrong. Nathan Elliott disagrees with me on my Odyssey film review. He said it was great. It did a fabulous job interpreting the classic story of Ulysses and the story going home. Yeah, I'm in the minority here. It was weird. I don't know. Maybe it was a bad gummy.
I'm not. I can guarantee you right now, I'm not going to watch it.
You're not going to watch it?
No, zero desire. I'd rather go watch Mary Poppins, which I don't like either.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll check in on the Gators and John Sumrall at SEC Media Days. We'll try to get that feed for you. I want to talk a little bit about what went down yesterday with Alex Golish. You'll hear Byron Brown as well, who was in town yesterday, the former USF quarterback. And I got a clip from yesterday's Pat McAfee show that is an all-time classic. Wait till you see this. I can't stop laughing. All right, you're listening and watching the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I just had my valet service the other day. They came and picked up my car while I was doing the show. Took it out for service, got the service done, cleaned it up, came back beautifully, and everything was perfect. Didn't even know it was gone. And just came back, signed everything, and off we go. That's the type of service you get at Genesis of Tampa. Also, if you buy now, 3 months, no payments. 3 months, no payments. That's pretty freaking cool. What can you do with that money in the meantime, huh? So go out there and get a great deal. They're giving tons of money on trade-ins. They want to get trade-ins so they can move those around as well. Highly motivated to make deals out there. They're a young dealership. They're making their mark here in Tampa, and they're selling the best line of cars in the business as far as I'm concerned. The value of these Genesis cars is incredible. The luxury, the engineering, the ride, everything will say it is the absolute top of the line, and it is, but the price is not. The price is not top of the line at all. Go see what I'm talking about. Take a test drive of the GV70, which I have, or the GV80, or any of the coupes as well, the sedans, fabulous cars. Genesis of Tampa. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. Yes, it is Christmas in July at the Golden Diamond Source. You know, when it gets all busy and you got to go crazy buying stuff. Well, not in July. You just pull right up, right in that big parking lot of the Golden Diamond Source. They got that big statue out front. Then you walk inside. There's all this bling everywhere. People greet you there. Hey, would you like a drink? We're going to get you a water, soda, maybe something else. Come on in. And they have all this stuff on sale, up to 5 years, no interest if you're buying a diamond. By the way, they have 5-carat diamonds, 10-carat diamonds, even 20-carat real natural diamonds. Have you ever seen a 20-carat real natural diamond? Kind of like going to a theme park or a museum. You can go in there and like, hey, can I take a look at that 20? They ain't going to let you hold it, but you can look at it. And if you want to, you can buy it. Why not? What says I love you more than here's a 20-carat diamond, baby? Yeah. That's what's great about the Golden Diamond Source. Yeah, that deserves that. Also, they have the exclusive Julieve collections and the Maduro collections. These are one-of-a-kind pieces that you will never see anywhere else. So it's like a theme park of jewelry at the Golden Diamond Source. So go on over there, tell them JP sent you, And it's not too far if you're in downtown Tampa or anywhere in Tampa, just over the bridge there in Clearwater on your left-hand side. Real easy to get to. All right. We got lots of great comments coming in today. I want to get to those in a second. But first and foremost, so yesterday, I guess 2 days ago, Ryan Clark gets shy-canned by ESPN.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
A lot of people applauding that, what have you. But it's interesting. It's an interesting story in so many ways. And you never like it when people lose their jobs, but Ryan Clark is going to be fine. He's made a shit ton of money. Yeah. And he's got a lot of opportunities elsewhere. He'll be fine. But it's interesting how ESPN has really, in a lot of ways, said we effed up. We went way too far over to the social justice warrior department, and it alienated tons and tons and tons of fans. And it did. What's
odd about it is everyone knew that they were wrong when they were doing it, except for them.
Yeah,
like they were getting called out by everybody.
Yeah,
and it took them now this long to figure it out that, dude, your network is disappearing and nobody cares about you anymore.
Yeah. Well, that stuff's okay until it really hits the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Then everybody's like, it was just the wrong place, wrong time. There's a place for all of that, absolutely 100%, but it's not on NFL Today, NFL Live. That's not what that's for, and they missed that. They missed that completely. It's not somewhere Get Up is for, and that's what it became. And he's not the only one. Let's just say that. But the juxtaposition of what has happened now. So, I mean, it's hard not to notice that the Pat McAfee show is not Ryan Clark.
Maybe the opposite of Ryan Clark.
It's the opposite of Ryan Clark. And that's what ESPN is pouring all its money into. I mean, a new, $60 million, $100 million contract? What's the last
60,
one?
I think, to him. Yeah,
whatever. 60 to him, 100 million for the show or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think so.
So, one of the tenets of that show is, Pat McAfee, they'll say anything and they don't run away from anything, any issue. They're going to talk about it and they're going to. So when things are being said, even about you, it's going to find its way into the Pat McAfee show. And so the whole narrative on social media is, oh my God, they got to fire Ryan Clark just to pay Pat. All these people getting fired to pay Pat McAfee. Now, in a business sense, that's not really what it is, but
it's the perception, though.
The perception really looks that way. It really does. If you're firing people for economic reasons, and I think the Ryan Clark thing was for more than economic reasons, quite frankly, saving a $2 million salary at ESPN is just a drop in the bucket. There was more to it, and he didn't get along with a lot of the people he worked with.
Right.
So that being said, there's still the perception out there. So JJ Watt comes on yesterday and freaking calls him out on it, and they try to laugh it off, but this is what awkward looks like on television. Let's roll it.
Oh, slow news day over there on the ESPN airwaves, huh?
No,
not true. I mean, besides the fact that you're getting $100 million.
Okay, Jage, please.
You're ticking everybody off the network, and nobody's
Take it away. You're going to lose the award with what you're doing. Place? Now, on that note,
there was no one else.
There was no second place. Actually, the gimmick was going to be if he didn't act like that, but now maybe we need to. And I would let you know, Jage, don't be reading it like that. Okay, you're smarter.
Oh, I read it all.
What?
Did they buy NFL Network this year?
Who?
Change the subject.
Did they? Quickly. That's crazy.
There's also.
Did they keep anybody, or is everybody fired to pay you? I'm trying to figure it out.
That's not funny. That's not funny. We do not like that. We do not appreciate that. That is the narrative, and I'm certainly taking it on the shins. The boys and I are very proud of the work that we have done.
Thanks a lot, Moana.
Okay.
Good God. I mean, come on.
All right. Okay.
Just play the hits with Doomsday or whatever.
Okay. All right. We're not getting into any of that, but.
Oh my.
Slow news day.
Whoops, my bad.
News day over there.
Wow.
Oh my.
JJ would have kept that going as long as he could, too.
Did they buy NFL Network? just trying to change the subject so fast.
In the Moana thing, that was funny too.
That was funny too. That was good television right there. That was good television. I could not stop laughing at that. And it's just for JJ to come in and do that. That is a ball buster of all time. So, and he could get away with it, obviously, right?
And McAfee was so uncomfortable, man.
Uncomfortable. Have you ever seen him that uncomfortable?
No.
I could watch it again, actually. You want to roll that again? I could watch this
on the ESPN airwaves, huh?
No,
not true.
I mean, besides the fact that you're getting $100 million.
Okay, Jage, please.
You're kicking everybody off the network, and nobody's
take it away.
You're gonna lose the award with what you're doing.
Place?
Now, on that note,
there was no one else.
There was no second place. Actually, the gimmick was going to be if he didn't act like that, but now maybe we need to. And I would like to let you know, Jage, don't be reading the internet like that. Okay? You're smarter.
Oh, I read it all.
What?
Did they buy NFL Network this year?
Did they buy NFL Network?
They did.
Did they? That's crazy.
There's also
Did they keep anybody, or is everybody fired to pay you? I'm trying to figure it out.
That's not funny. That's not funny. We do not like that. We do not appreciate that. That is the narrative, and I'm certainly taking it on the shins. The boys and I are very proud of the work that we have done.
Thanks a lot, Moana.
Okay.
Good God. I mean, come on.
All right. Okay.
Just play the hits with Doomsday or whatever.
Okay. All right. We're not getting into any of that, but.
Oh, that is just gold. That is just gold. I'm sorry.
Dude, JJ just doesn't care, man.
He don't. But that's just justice, though.
Yeah.
These guys take shots at everybody when, things go bad for them, which they should do. It's their job. They do a great job at it. I have no problems with it. But, man, it's funny. It's funny. When it gets put back on you, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit because you know that really bothers him. He's a man of the people. He's a regular dude for the most part. If you can be a regular dude when you get $100 million, he gives it all away. He does all that shit. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But it is what it is, man. And that's the narrative. And he gets all that money because they drive the ratings.
Yep.
And ESPN shot themselves in the foot with all that bullshit for so long. And they brought and their answer was, we're going to bring Pat McAfee on, and we're going to appeal back to the more generalized, white guy. If we're just being honest about it, which we try to be, that's the majority of their audience is as middle-aged white guys, and they pissed them off for a long, long time. And this is their reconciliation, and the numbers have returned and saved the network and their talk shows. And you can't escape the optics of it. You just can't. And, there's probably a lot of people out there that are like, well, that's what you get. FA and find out. And, it's again, there's plenty of opportunities to do a lot of those things, but returning to a more sports centric, game centric conversations on the network, I think is a good thing. That's a good thing for sports in general. Yeah. Listen, there are times, sports obviously can lead to some very important social change. And, you don't need to look any further than Jackie Robinson. But sometimes, and I think in this particular case, it went overboard in a lot of different ways. And we need to probably do a little bit of course correction, in my opinion, and come back to being more sports oriented and less politically oriented. And again, there are plenty of platforms for that, for that stuff, but ESPN shouldn't be one of them, in my opinion.
Do you think there was a phone call or a text message after Pat finished his show to JJ to or one way or the other to bro, what are you doing, man? Come on.
No, listen, guy, it's like a really bad prank.
Yeah.
The more it hurts, the better it is. You know how we guys are.
Yeah.
If you pull a prank on somebody, and the more awkward and the more emotion it builds up, the better it is. Let's just be honest. And Pat dishes it out all the time, with the quips that he makes and things. He does all the time in certain situations.
And usually not to people's faces either. It's always on the air.
Yeah.
So at least JJ did it right to his face.
I saw a clip this morning, and this is what sucks about AI. I didn't know if it was AI or not. It was, maybe you guys could tell me. It was Pat McAfee and Ryan Clark on TV. And I think it happened after he embarrassed Peter Schrager, basically your non-player take.
Right. Because
he didn't play. And it was Pat saying to Ryan Clark, hey, have you ever rushed the ball? Have you carried a ball, as an offensive player? No. He said, no, I haven't done that. He said, have you ever scored? He goes, yeah, no, I never scored. He goes, have you ever kicked the ball? Have you ever kicked the ball in the game? No, never done that. You ever punted a ball? Nope, never done that. He goes, okay. All right, I was just wondering. Basically saying that if Ryan Clark, if you're going to tell Peter Schrager he don't know shit about football because he didn't play the game, I'm Pat McAfee. I've done all those things in a game of football. You have not, Ryan Clark. So what the hell do you know about football? And it was kind of joking, and that's why I said I don't know if it was AI or not, because it's a great illustration of
I think it was real. I'm pretty sure it was real.
What was it? Because that was, kind of put him in his place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, there are things that obviously as a player, that I will never know, as a quote analyst of football. But I also feel like there's a perspective that we have, and I'm talking about not just just because you're a broadcaster. I'm talking about if you're a broadcaster and you've put in your time and you've interviewed gazillions of football players and you've watched tape with them and you've learned the game and you've talked to coaches and you've really tried to learn hard about the game. So you do have a very broad knowledge of it. I do think we bring a perspective from the outside that is valuable. But I also recognize I've never played the game, and I don't try to ever act like I have. And when I try to do some analysis, I'll say, when Rondé Barber told me this, or Derek Brooks told me this, or Baker Mayfield said this, or what things that Tony Dungy told me this. John Grew, where did you get the information? How did you learn it? Where did you learn it? I think that's important to do when you're doing some type of analysis, because I haven't played the game. I have not been in that arena. But I do think there are people like Peter Schrager and myself and you and others who cover the game. We have valuable perspective. It's a different perspective than a player. And that's why you have media people and why you have, players that are analysts as well. I think, if you prove yourself to know the game and be credible and you've put the work in, I think your opinion is, I think Peter Schrager's opinion is important. I think Kyle Brandt's opinion is important. I think Tom Pelissero, I think Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, all these people that are around the game and covered all the time, they have a valuable perspective. It's different from yours, Ryan. I will say this, when Schrager or some of the other analysts are breaking things down, I think it's sometimes best to defer to the players in certain situations. It's something I always try to do if I'm interviewing a player or sharing my analysis of a game with a player. But again, I think what Ryan said to Schrager, which led to his dismissal eventually, was out of line. It was completely
big time. And Schrager had all the support from other athletes that he works with. Like, no, that's a ridiculous argument. I have the video here, JP, if you want to see it.
Yes.
It's from the Pat McAfee show from November of 2020.
From 2020.
From 2020. Yeah, that's
this is pre Schrager incident.
This is way pre Schrager incident. This is way before ESPN Pat McAfee.
All right, yeah, roll that. This is what I'm talking about.
Bro, I'm doing well, man. I got to talk about people who kind of wear football uniforms.
I don't know who
don't really play football.
Ryan, have you ever tackled somebody on a football field?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ran with a football in an NFL game? Have you had a rush?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's weird. Have you thrown a pass in the NFL?
I have not.
Oh. Have you scored in an NFL game?
I actually have not.
Oh. There's a lot of things I think that make up a football game. You know what I mean? Like tackling, running, passing, kicking, blocking. I've done them all. I've done every single one of them. You've done what? 2 out of the 7 probably. Who's more of a football player, Ryan? Oh. I'd like to know who is more of a football player, Ryan Clark?
I got 100 on my dash, got 2
So anyway, there you go.
So that was from 2020. So
Yeah,
he was probably espousing that who the hell is Pat McAfee? He don't know squadoosh.
Probably. I don't know what the lead up was to that, but it was, obviously that's way back when, or very early on in the Pat McAfee show. And he's not wrong. He's done all of those things in the NFL.
You got to be careful when you throw stones.
And that resurfaced after the Peter Schrager incident. And obviously somebody went in and, edited it a little bit and put music behind it and stuff. But, that was the gist of the thing. Ryan Clark hadn't done any of those things either. So,
interesting takes, to be sure.
Yeah.
All right. Alejandro says there was a mock trade on MLB Network yesterday. Possible trade for the Nationals. The Rays received C.J. Abrams and James Woods from the Nationals, and the Rays give up Aranda, Theo Gillen, and Hopkins. Woo.
Huh.
Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Oof. I'd have to think about that one. Give me a moment on that one, Alejandro. Yeah. I'm going to have to those are two really good players, but those are three really good players. But man, as much as we love Theo Gillen, he's what, double A? Single A. He's ripped up single A and double A. You just can't say that it's automatically going to happen in the big leagues because the numbers tell you otherwise. The numbers tell you.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that trade if I'm the Rays.
But this is the conundrum, Timmy. I don't know how many Rays players we have seen come along that have ripped it up in double and triple A.
I get it.
And we've always protected these guys and these are the future. And we end up trading them away anyway. They get to the big leagues. They can't do it. Josh, it just time and time again. So and if you got guys that are, kicking ass in the big leagues and proving themselves at that level, and you've got guys, and obviously Aranda's proven himself at this level, but the other two guys really haven't. And they look like they're going to be superstars. It's like you can't be a star unless you do that in double and triple A, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to be a star.
And I've seen guys
by a long shot.
I've seen guys that went the other way with it. They really didn't do much in the minors in single A, double A, triple A. And they come up because, they need an injury replacement somewhere. And then the guy never goes back down.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen
Victor Mesa Jr. is kind of like that. We heard a little bit about him coming up, but not a whole lot. Not like Theo Gillen, not like Josh Lowe.
Right.
I mean, these guys were like, oh, wait till you see this guy. And, Mesa was like, oh, he's a good player. Now he's gotten up and he's like, holy shit. I'm like, wow, this guy can play, So you just never know. And so you got two, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. But, when you have to think through trades like that where it's not immediately obvious, and to some of you guys that love the prospects, I know you're nutballs about it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Theo Gillen's going to be the next Ken Griffey Jr., yeah!
Come on.
Okay. I'm not saying no, but the chances are the vast majority of players like that do not become Ken Griffey Jr. or anything even close. Baseball's hard. And at the major league level, it's way different than any other level. Way different. Not dissing on Theo. I'm just telling you this, just reminding you, because many of you know this, baseball's hard. And being a minor league star is great and everything, but it doesn't, there's no guarantees. I'll take me a guy that's done it 2 or 3 times in the big leagues, hit 30 home runs, and stolen 25, 30 bases over a guy who's going to be the next Ken Griffey Jr. any day. Any day. Right Brain says another 40,000 fans in Toronto and 87,000 hot dogs. Evidently, there's not a lot to do in Toronto in the summer besides eat loony dogs. He also reminds me, hey, are you really comparing baseball to football? That's why baseball is superior than football. Football is too predictable. Baseball isn't.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about football being predictable. It is in that way that from year to year, teams, if you have the same personnel, are going to be much more. And there's a lot of people right brain that would say that's what makes baseball not as good. Because there's too much left to chance. The bad bounces, which we could throw to soccer very much as well, and hockey. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to check in on SEC Media Days as well, see what John Summerall had to say today for the Florida Gators and some of their players. A big kind of debut for him as a first-time SEC head coach at Media Days. He's won the offseason, no question about that. He's done a great job. But how did they come off today? We'll check in with that. And we're going to do our Bucs O-line preview as well as we lead up to Bucs camp opening on Tuesday or Monday, actually, as rookies report. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We'll get into SEC Media Days here in just a moment. I want to remind you folks about Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Cooling. That is your dynamic duo to make sure that your air conditioner is running right all through this hot summer. American Standard Heating and Cooling, they have the best units, the most efficient, the most economical, and the great folks to put them in for you, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. John Rodriguez is the owner over there, big supporter of the show. PJ runs that joint over there, and they do a fantastic job. They are very, very much centered on customer service to make sure everything goes right, and they're honest. That's what you want from an AC technician, right? Just honest people getting an honest job done. Too many scammers out there, but not at Third Generation Plumbing. They've been around for since 1995. John and his family have been in the AC business since the 70s here in Tampa. So you don't do that without being great stewards of customer service. That's what they do. So if you have any issues at all, you got a friend in the business, just call them up, say, hey, I heard you on the JP show. He recommended you. So come on over and get the work done, and they will do it. thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC and anything mechanical around your house they can help you with. thirdgenerationplumbing.com. All right, SEC Media Days underway. John Sumrall taking the podium earlier today at 10:30 over at SEC Media Days here in Tampa. And, of course, the number one thing everybody wants to know is about the quarterback situation. They've got two guys, Aaron Philo, who came over from Georgia Tech, and Tramell Jones Jr., who played a little bit last year, was a 4 or 5-star recruit, showed a lot of good stuff. But bottom line is Sumrall is not committing to anybody just yet. In fact, he just said he may not commit till 5 minutes before the first game. So if you're
I mean, that's smart, right? I mean, why would you?
Well, you certainly don't want to give any preparation time for the other team. They'll just have to prepare for both quarterbacks, which is probably not as big a deal as maybe coaches make it out to be. But Sumrall's a defensive guy, and he knows what he speaks of. You always want to know what kind of quarterback you're facing, right? To get the best preparation possible.
Yeah.
So that's probably the way he's going to play it. We got a couple of clips here. I believe let's do this one, Timmy. I'll punch it up.
What is your timeline?
This was the talk about timeline.
How you want to make a decision on that?
Yeah, I don't have a timeline. I've met with both those guys individually. I'll meet with them before we start training camp together. I'll meet with the whole room. Just because you start game 1 doesn't mean you start game 12. I don't have a timeline. My timeline, it may be 5 minutes before the game before anybody finds out. I mean, to me,
Brett McMurphy in the background
my first
going,
year
what?
as head coach at Troy, we used 2 quarterbacks the entire year, not necessarily by design, because we had to, because one of them would get hurt, and another would get hurt, and then the guy would come back healthy, and then he wouldn't play good. Then we put the other guy in, and it's like, I don't love the quarterback shuffle deal, but I don't have a blueprint for how it's going to go. We're going to do what we have to do to try to help position Florida football to win games. Both guys have been great. They lift from the same rack together in the weight room. They push each other. They challenge each other. They support each other. They got each other's back. They're going to fight for each other. The quickest way, and they know this, the quickest way either one of them could lose a job is be a bad teammate. And so they're great teammates. They've been awesome with each other. And then the quarterback room's been great. The whole room's been awesome.
So there's a little insight to what's going on with those two guys. Philo was the backup last 2 years to Haynes King in Georgia Tech, who was a hell of a quarterback. I mean, you couldn't get much better performance from a guy than that guy.
Former Aggie great.
Yeah. So he did have some numbers at Georgia Tech, 21 of 28 for 193 yards in the spring game. So this was with Florida. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tramell Jones Jr. threw for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. Very confident player, looks the part. They got 2 good guys. It's just, now it's just develop him. developing them. And there's a lot of weapons. Jaden Baugh, he's a top 5 running back in college football, maybe top 3. He's, I saw enough of him against Florida State last year. He is a dog. He's an SEC freaking dog. So when you have that, and I think this Gator defense is going to be really good. You got a chance to win any game. If you have a good running game and a good defense in the SEC, you're going to win a lot of games. And I don't necessarily think, when you have those two things, and it's to be proven. I mean, the Gator defense has to step up and do it under Summerall. There's a lot of unknowns here, but I think it's going to be a good group. They've got a ton of weapons on the offensive side. A really good receiving core. This Gator team is going to be really, really interesting. And I think their first conference game is against Auburn and Alex Golesh, who will kind of translate. Or let's do one more from this is one more from Summerall. This is at the podium today talking about
the privileges that we're afforded each and every day. When I interviewed for this job, one of the questions the committee had for me is, Coach, what do you view as our negatives at the University of Florida? And so the biggest one I see is we haven't been winning enough. But like the places I've coached, look, I've got a full-time nutritionist now. I didn't have that at Troy. I got staff nutritionists. Like there's so many great resources we have. And so for me, I think, you have to have a great attitude in what you do. And I define attitude as demeanor, drive, and desire. Demeanor is your body language. Your drive and desire is the mindset. You've never arrived. You can always get better.
Yeah. So, a lot of coach speak there. But listen, as a whole, this guy has absolutely taken Gator Nation by storm. But we've seen a lot of that. And there's a lot of people who are just on the wait and see mode with Summerall, as they should be, because there's been a lot of Muschamp. There's been a lot of, a lot of guys that just didn't measure up. And, the recruiting has been good. They've got good players at Florida. They've got a lot of good players at Florida. It just takes a coach to put it together, and you never know what can happen. I mean, look at Indiana. Look at what happened in Indiana. And that was just from a solid coach who had a great plan and they executed it to perfection. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen in Florida, but the first thing you got to do is have talent, and they got talent there. There's no question about that. And they've got resources. They've got a great home field advantage. They play in the SEC. Can they go from 4-8 to 8-4? I think that's I don't want to say it's likely, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. The schedule's not as hard as it's been the last couple of years. So, So I think if you're a Gator fan, you got to be encouraged. You got to be encouraged. There's too many good players on this team not to have a good shot. I mean, you're in a way better position than we are at Florida State. That's for damn sure. We know we have a shit coach. Our talent is okay. It's okay. We've got maybe the best receiver in the ACC in Deuce Robinson, maybe the best running back in Chroma, but the coaching staff is a complete debacle. We have no idea what we're doing. But
it's crazy to hear you. And I'm not disagreeing, but it's crazy to hear describing the Florida State coach just a couple of years removed from you should have been in the playoff as a shit coach. Like, I get it, but
I watched his interview, and Jeff Cameron did an interview with him with Mike Norvell, and it's just
is it bad?
There's a lot of in there. He talks like an uneducated college kid. And that wasn't the way it used to be. Something happened to this dude, man.
Somebody hurt him.
I think the snub broke him, man. It's just weird. And listening to him talk, there's just no belief for me. That's just my personal opinion. There's just no, I don't understand. I don't see how he can stand in front of a group of men and lead them after all that's happened, when everything's been through and what's been said and what's been done, what's going on around the program. It's just, you have a lot of supporters of the program in the media that are basically saying, things are bad at Florida State. And that's what you hear. And the only way you can do it is fight out of it, win games. That's the only way So the thing about sports, you can't fake it. You can't fake it. You got to go out there and win games. And, it's a manageable schedule. There's no question about it. They can do it. The weirdest thing is, how do you go beat Alabama in game one and dominate them like you did and then lose the games you lost to Stanford? I mean, it's just, it's mind numbing. The highs and lows on this team over the last 4 or 5 years are just mind numbing. And, it's hard to put it together. But if you're a Gator fan, I'd like to hear from you, Gator fans. What do you think? Are you excited? Are you just every person I talk to is just wait and see mode. Wait and see. They don't want to go out on a limb at all. But I get it. I totally get that, especially in this league. It's going to be tough. Mike Holcomb says chicken shit Auburn, too scared to let Golish talk to any Tampa media yesterday. Yeah, he pretty much turned down all Tampa media, which I think is, it's kind of chicken shit. It's just an interview, man. It's just an interview that you can direct any way you want to do it. Any way you want to do it.
Yeah, if you don't want to answer a question, I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Auburn. I mean, it's super easy.
Yeah, it's not hard. And when you're in that position, you're the head coach, you're the one being interviewed. And by the way, Tampa media, really? I mean, how super soft are we? You really scared of Tampa media? Come on, dog. Wow. If you can't handle Tampa media, you can't handle the SEC. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah. And listen, we've said this before, and it's no secret. Alex Golish won games at USF. He did a lot of good things there. Was he a beloved figure? No. And I'm not saying you have to be liked by everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But you got to, I think, if you're a high riser and an authentic guy that's going to make it in the SEC, you better be authentic. And I don't think he is. And that's not just my opinion, because I didn't spend a lot of time around him, frankly. Mm-hmm. But people that have worked for him tell me that. People that have worked for him privately will say, nah, not my guy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, it is, but you won't hear people say that about Summerall.
No, I don't think so.
I think I haven't heard that. I've talked to people that have worked for him, and they rave about him. They rave about the guy. You could listen in this. I know enough people in this business that you get on the phone and start texting people, and whenever you get this, call me. Yeah. You know what's coming. They don't want to put it in a text message. They want to put it in a text. They'll say, call me, and then you have a conversation. You're like, oh, okay, and that's when you find out the good stuff. And listen, he's a good coach. He's got a hell of a quarterback in Byron Brown. Do we have the Byron Brown one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prepare me
listen to Byron from yesterday.
A lot of ways, just being able to play and showcase my ability. We
talking about his time at USF.
Some tough games. Having that ability to play for the Bulls.
He talked about USF.
Got a degree from there. I'm truly grateful.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's just prepared from every single game. You can take something from every game. So truly grateful.
Yeah. That's all you gotta say.
He handled it with, I don't know what the question was. We didn't hear it. It seemed very classy answer,
It was like, what did you get at USF? And Alex did talk about USF a little bit. I want to be clear. He said a lot of good things about USF. Said, our family was here for 3 years. They treated me extremely well. We have a lot of great times here and love the people here, and everything was great here, and had nothing but good things to say about USF, which didn't talk about a lot, which was great. But I mean, if you're going to do interviews for everybody else, but it was 620 that they snubbed. Danny Boy says that which can't blame him for that. Said he did talk to Scott Smith from Fox 13, so he didn't snub all the local media. So
just 620,
maybe just 620. Yeah. Yeah. So listen, I wish him the best, but it's one of those, one of the great things about college football, man. It's almost like a big family. Sometimes you root for people in your family, and sometimes they do you wrong and you don't root for them anymore. And then it all gets to play out on this national stage in front of, millions of people. So, which creates drama. I mean, Lane Kiffin's going to talk tomorrow. Talk about creating drama. Isn't that what we want in our sports? Kind of, we like the drama of it. I do. Now, do I like the fact that Lane Kiffin had to leave or did leave Ole Miss in the middle of a championship season? No, hell no. I don't like that at all. But that's the business, the way it is set up right now. And it does create drama. And tomorrow when he talks is going to be freaking really cool. Yeah.
So I've put my Auburn record on notice here, 4-8 next year, JP. You want me to give my LSU prediction?
Sure.
5-7, JP. In Lane Kiffin's first year.
That ain't happening. That is not happening.
No Book way. It, baby. What are the odds? Let's get some money on this. 5-7.
I will bet you $10,000 they win more than 5 games. How's that?
Sam Levitt ain't the guy.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
They should have gone after Sorsby.
I'll bet on that.
Actually, they did go after Sorsby, and for some reason, he picked Texas Tech over.
For some reason, he put Texas Tech
over LSU.
Was it 5 million reasons? Was that?
I'm sure LSU was going to pay him. Probably not 5 million, but
yeah,
I don't know. Would that story have been different if he played for LSU and then all of that stuff went down? Well, obviously not played, but if he had signed with LSU and then all of this went down rather than Tech. I mean, LSU's a bigger story nationally for sure.
Yeah, it would have been a much bigger story, I think. Yeah. Yeah, because then you combine the Lane Kiffin incendiary device with the Sorsby gasoline. Yeah.
I mean, there's not really anything controversial about Texas Tech. I mean, a lot of people don't like the way they pay their players. I mean, in every sport, literally even women's softball, they had a pitcher they were paying $1 million a year.
No, actually, the Sorsby Kiffin combination would have been fantastic.
Can you imagine?
Oh, Lord, yeah. Hell yeah. KC Eagle says, if they approve funding to build a stadium would be the craziest thing. Why would it? Oh, you mean if Orlando did? They approved the funding. Yeah, no, that happens all the time, actually. I think North Carolina did that. You approve the funding pending getting the team. Yeah. Which is, that's a kind of a no-brainer. You're just like, okay, if it happens, great. It's well worth the money. So we'll say we'll do it if that's what Major League Baseball is looking for. Sure.
Right.
To quote Florida's native son, the waiting is the hardest part, says Lonnie about Florida football. But isn't that great?
Who's their
listen,
Tom Petty?
I said the same things last year before Florida State season. And then I went up and watched Florida State beat Alabama, and it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life at that moment. And I came back and said, we're back, baby. What an idiot. What an absolute idiot.
We're back, baby. Famous
we're
last
back.
words.
Yeah. Right, Brands, Tampa should strive to have 40,000 in the seats every night. Well, since we're only having 31,000 seats, that's going to be tough. Lonnie says, poor Ryan Bass, don't you just love these trolls whenever a broadcaster or a broadcast network does a segment on anything that's not baseball related? Like, God forbid Ryan Bass do a hot dog segment. I know. Listen, it's freaking baseball. It's 162 games of broadcasting. You want him to break down James Jr. Caminero hitting the curveball every freaking night? Come on, dog.
Somebody complained because he did a hot dog story?
Everybody does, man. He does a lot of interesting, creative stuff. Listen, Ryan and I haven't always seen eye to eye politically. He took me to task on some stuff I said during COVID, which I was 100% right. And you were wrong. But the guy does a great job. He does a fantastic job. And he goes out, puts himself out there on the CN Tower and, he works his ass off. He comes up with great storylines. He's doing a hell of a job. Anybody that's criticizing him for doing a hot dog segment and all the food segments they do, keeping it going, Ryan. It's awesome. It's fantastic.
You got to have bits during the baseball season.
Oh, my God. He's always going out there giving the baseball to the kid that got it stolen away.
Yeah.
He's doing a hell of a job. He is doing a hell of a job.
I don't know.
By the way, there was a moment last night where Andy Freed called a home run in a play-by-play style, and it was fantastic. It was great. So keep it up, Andy.
Maybe somebody else got in his ear and said, no, go back to doing what you're doing.
Well, I'm not the only one talking about this stuff.
I'm saying you didn't text him and tell him that. I was going to give you credit.
No, and listen, and again, Andy's fantastic at his job, and his knowledge of the team that he imparts and the conversation that he has with BA during the game is just top of the line, top notch. Yeah. It's fantastic. The only issue I have is I think somebody told him not to do a radio play-by-play on TV, which is, good advice, but to take it to the nth degree, to not have a home run call or something, it's just a weird juxtaposition watching the game and not having a guy do play-by-play. And that's kind of where he went to. But again, I watch every bit of it. It's fantastic. Just one man's opinion. What else we got? There was some other good commentary I want to get to. Nathan Elliott, I'll be there at training camp on 7/31. I know you will, partner, and I will be there too. We'll be sweating it out together. Jimmy Wadsworth asked me, how do you think FSU will do this year? I got him for 6 or 7 wins.
Wow.
6 or 7 wins. Yeah. Well, there should be 4 out of automatic.
Is that in spite of the coach or because of the coach?
In spite of the coach.
Okay. Norvell's done. He's toast.
We're still going for it on 4th and 11 on our own 37 in a critical point of the game. We'll see.
It's just aggressive play calling, JP.
Kurt says Bucs just announced they're wearing the white creamsicle throwbacks versus the Chargers on December 6th. No creamsicle jersey game. They're cursed. Oh, good. Good. Fantastic. We finally figured that out. We can't win in the orange ones, but we can win in the white one. By the way, so we got our white creamsicles against the Chargers powder blues. Oh,
how about that?
Best uniform game of the year right there. Already done. There's not even a close second. Wow. For that. All right, let's take a quick break. John Gerber is on board, ready to give us his picks for this week and talk a little bit about Bryson DeChambeau. Yeah, we're getting into that. And Jackson Suber, we're getting into that. The new PGA schedule, we're getting into that. Lots of good stuff. And we're going to have the Bucs O-line preview after we talk to John Gerber. Quick break. Back in 3. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000. And all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler. So don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. So if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
By the way, don't forget, Pitch Roofing wants to make you a preferred client. What that means is you go to their website, pitchroofing.com, set up an assessment. They can do it over the phone, they can do it remotely, or they can come out to the house and meet you, look at your roof, inspect it, and say, okay, this is how many years you got left on your roof, blah, blah, blah. But also you get to know them. They'll educate you as to the process with your insurance. And if something were to happen in a hurricane, you guys will be on the preferred client list. So, and what happens then is when all these roofs get blown off and everybody can't find a roofer, you'll be a preferred client. So it's kind of like insurance for your insurance. So do that. Go to pitchroofing.com, give them a call, tell them you heard it on the JP show. You want to get on the preferred client list, and they'll help you out with that. And just great folks over there that you'll know who your roofer is going to be, because it's kind of important if you're a homeowner. Absolutely. All right, let's talk some golf with our PGA Tour professional, Mr. John Gerber, the best handicapper in the business.
I like other guys, but I'll watch women's gymnastics.
Johnny, listen, when I was watching that whole Bryson DeChambeau thing came down, I almost called you directly.
I wish you would have. I wish you
cheater.
You want to get me fired up this early in the morning? You know I'm an hour behind you. Listen, I'll say this way: I have officiated as a PGA member, over 20-year PGA member. I am
over 20 years.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm an expert in the rules, but I am an expert in the rules. That
You're
is
an
part
expert
of our
in the
job.
rules, 100%.
I have officiated multiple big amateur events. I was an alternate about 6 years ago as a rules official in a PGA Championship. They have all these guys that can get invited. I have taken the PGA test, the rules test. It's extremely difficult. Now, if you know anything about Bryson DeChambeau, you know he doesn't do anything unintentional. He doesn't.
Yep.
His
all
whole life is, and it's all calculated. It's all calculated. And that's the key word there, intention. Did he intentionally try to improve his
But according to the RNA, it doesn't matter if it was intentional.
The intent is not part of the rule.
Yeah, but RNA rule it's not, but there's two different, but intent is there. Do you intentionally? It is. It is. It's not on the rule book, but intent, it causes things. Do you intentionally do something to make it better for you? And he certainly did.
Yeah.
He certainly did. Listen, if you're trying to look for your ball, you don't pound on the ground, because if you accidentally step on it, you've embedded your ball and there's nothing you can do about it. Right.
That's right.
Listen, there's not, The guy is the second coming of Phil Mickelson. He is fake.
Gross.
It is. This is just what he is. And I'll say this: he didn't only break one rule; he broke several rules. And unfortunately, he can only get two shots. Yeah. 2 shots. So, as a rules official, we do not want to give players penalties. We don't. We're going to give the benefit of the doubt anytime we can give the benefit of the doubt.
You don't have a quota like police officers do?
Well, we don't get paid for it at the end of the month like these township people do that pull you over for going 37 and a 35.
Somebody got pulled over this week.
Yeah. Thank you. Did I tell you that? I did, but I'm just I'm all fired up.
Continue.
Yeah. So listen, JP, if people know about Bryson, who is the only person? Let's go backwards. Was there anyone that defended him?
Yes, there were tons of people that defended him.
Well, I mean, players.
Fans, yeah, not players.
I heard Scotty Scheffler defend him. I heard.
Yeah, but
I saw a lot of people defend him, and I think it was chicken shit because I believe what you believe was completely intentional. It was obvious.
Sure.
Okay, let me ask you this question real quick, Johnny, because Wyndham Clark got accused of this to a little bit lesser degree on number 18 at the U.S. Open when he was in the rough, where he went behind his ball, trampled the grass. But we're talking U.S. Open rough, which is not 3 feet high like what Bryson was in at Royal Birkdale. So and obviously it's a USGA rules as opposed to RNA rules.
They're a little different. They're not a ton different, but they are a little different.
So, but is it the same premise though? Because they're saying Wyndham Clark improved his swing because he stomped on the grass.
Let's get back to let's get your analysis first of all before we talk about Wyndham Clark and anybody else. What did you see live? What was your call before everybody else started talking?
I said, why is he being a dancer behind his golf ball? That's it. I mean, I don't know if he took dance lessons as a kid or he just was, I don't know, needed more. But he did it. He did it not only right behind his ball, searching for his ball is one thing. Pouncing down on the ground, pathwise, you can look for your ball on the sides of your golf ball and find it. Like, directly behind it. Come on, and that far behind it,
he had already found the ball.
Yeah. Even when he says he was searching for his ball, listen, it makes no sense. It makes no sense what he did. I mean, the grass is waist high, right? Or ankle high, however high that may be. It doesn't really make much difference how high the grass is. It's the intent of proving the path of your swing. And he certainly did that.
100%.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about what he did. And hey, listen, and after that, the antics that he threw about it didn't do himself any favors. Like, if you want to get back in the good graces of golf, the PGA Tour, he doesn't care. He could care less what other people think about him. If you really want to do something to say, hey man, this guy maybe changed the perception of him or the opinion of him, you probably went the wrong way about it. Yeah. Hey, I didn't do it intentionally, but I get the rule. Okay, cool. Hey man, I'm okay with that. Okay, good for you, Bryson. But don't just, hey, I don't want to play. I'm thinking about not playing. Don't hold the tournament hostage. If I was the RNA, I would say, okay, the moment you say that, we're not going to kill the field and make you play a single if you decide not to show up tomorrow. So in a 4-hour period, they didn't know if he was playing or not.
Which, by the way, holds everybody up at the course. It holds you can talk to that. The scorekeeper, the people that are printing the things, and every. And Rory made a point of that. And everybody's mad at Rory. Why is everybody mad at Rory? Rory was the most honest one of all of them. You may not like the guy, but he was the only honest one. The rest of them didn't have the balls to call the guy out.
That's 100% right. You're 100% right. Yeah, I mean, as like Rory, I don't like Rory from his takes. Rory has been over the past couple of years got a lot more blunt and honest since he's got off the policy board, right? And I think that's probably a good thing. Whether you like Rory or not, his opinions matter. Rory moves the needle, and when he says something like this, he's right. Most of the time, Rory is right. And I just his antics afterwards probably rubbed me more the wrong way. I have a past relationship with him, not on a personal level, but he used to play and practice at my facility in Dallas. And
talk about Bryson or Rory?
Bryson.
Okay.
the first year that he was out there wasn't. This was way before his YouTube and all that stuff.
His
and
body transformation.
He would go down at the end of the range and didn't want anyone to bother him.
That's
and he
typical.
would make point, don't bother me. You're at a public facility. Like you're at a public. And to his credit, he paid for balls, whatever, but he shunned people off. And then when he went to live and got in the public more of the YouTube stuff, he wanted everybody to be around him. That's fake. Listen, stop. It's fake. No matter what anyone says, that's fake. So listen, I'm just not throwing it out there. But like I said, I always look at it. Did he intentionally do that? He 100% intentionally did that. He doesn't do anything that's not calculated, as Tim said. It's just him. And I don't need the antics.
And whether he intended to or not, he did it. He improved it. I actually saw like credible golf analysts say, "Oh, he didn't improve his lie in any way or his swing path." I'm like, what are you talking about?
Didn't improve his lie, but he certainly improved his swing path.
The swing path.
Yeah.
The grass behind the ball went from this to this.
No doubt.
I mean, that was where his takeaway was.
No doubt. That's absolutely no doubt. And I don't know if Bryson paid these other analysts to say something good about him. I don't know what he did. I mean,
I'll give credit to Brandel Chambly, who on Golf Channel called him out immediately. The rest of the guys on that dais danced around it. Like, listen, you're a golf analyst. You get paid a lot of money to talk about golf. And if you can't give me an honest opinion in that moment on that, what are you doing up there? Like, have some balls. I mean,
anytime you lift your knees up to your chest high to pound on something, that's pretty much telling me that you're trying to improve something. Yeah. Right. In terms of how it was. So I didn't like it. I wasn't rooting for him. I don't root for him anyways. Now that being said, is he good for golf? Yeah, probably. Listen,
I don't hate Bryson. I don't hate him.
He moves the needle, man. He does. People watch when he's playing. I'm not going to say he's not irrelevant. I'm not saying he's relevant in golf. Let's just say that he is.
Yeah, but I think he's good for the game.
It didn't help him.
No. All right. And the win for Ryan Fox, the other thing that's being really talked about in golf, which is a great thing, is how fast he plays and how fast he stepped up and hit that winning putt in 22 seconds after Sam Burns holed out. That's great for the game, and I think the conversation around it is great. I even heard Colin Montgomery talking. I agreed with him. He said, we used to play in under 4 hours at the British Open. Under 4 hours. Now we're taking 5.5 hours. How is it's the same game? How is that possible?
Yeah, it might have something to do with TV coverage too, though.
A little bit, but also with no bad weather. I mean, if you play 5 hours, 5.5, and there's inclement weather, yeah, I get that part. But I always tell people, and jokingly, I said, to be a good golfer, it doesn't hurt that you're not real smart, right? So you don't think so much, right? You go, you hit, you go. I'm not saying Ryan Fox is an unintelligent person, but I know NASA's not calling Dustin Johnson anytime soon for a job. Right. It just, it's good.
You and Dustin Johnson.
I just had to throw that out there, but you get my point. It's sometimes the less you think in golf, the better it is. And Tim and I, we talked about this last week when the girl at the ladies at the last major championship in France.
Avion.
Avion. And I told him, I said, listen, when you're scoring, the tour players, ladies, whatever it is, when you're shooting your best round, you don't know what you shoot. You don't know where you're at. Like, you have no idea. It's just that unconscious. You just go hit it. She had no idea that she shot 59 or 60 or shooting for or getting ready to play for 59. That's what it happens when you shoot your lowest score. You have no idea what it is. You're just unconscious, and you're just trying to figure it out. Go hit it and get it in the hole. And Ryan Fox has that. He's always been that way. I don't know him personally, but he's always been that way. Hey, listen, I don't want to think. I want to go hit it, and I don't want to think about my golf swing. I just want to go hit it and get it in the hole as fast as possible and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's what, and it's refreshing. It really is. It's refreshing for golf. And as much as these junior golfers that I teach, some really good players in Kansas City and Ohio, that I tell them all the time is like, hey, listen, what are you thinking about? You don't know enough about the golf swing to start thinking. Just go play golf. I mean, we do all our work on the range to get you prepared to when you're on the golf course. You don't think, you don't do anything. You just go play golf. And it's refreshing. I loved it. It's a great win. If you look at the last couple major championships between him and Aaron Rai, good guys can really win major championships. And all of these last two major championships, the PGA with Aaron Rai and him, it's well received from the PGA Tour players.
Yeah. All right. And a quick note on Jackson Suber, who never played links golf before and had never been to Europe to lead the British Open after one round. That's pretty cool. And and hung in there too for round 2. Weekend was not as good.
Yeah, and we said that at the beginning of the week. You asked me, does he have a chance to win? I said, no, maybe not, but he has a chance to play well, and he did. He did. And, there's no substitute for playing that. And we also said little bit of that is ignorance is bliss. I think the weekend caught up with him. Yeah. I think course management a little bit, he got away with the first couple of days, but as the tournament went on, you can't get away with potentially some of those course management things he does, and he'll learn from that. And, he's a young player. And I think, I was going to ask you a question is, I think playing at Palmacia, I think playing at Palmacia, and I couldn't figure out whether it hurt him or help him, but as many birdies and getting used to making a ton of birdies certainly bodes well for a guy like Jackson Suber, getting used to that on a short golf course like Palmacia, that he can kind of dominate, right? And I really think, man, the guys, I have him on our card. I think he wins this week. I really do. Ooh. And I have him number 1 on our list. And here's why. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is fatigue, right? Is he's played a lot of golf, but I think he's playing over the past 3 or 4 weeks as good as anybody on the PGA Tour.
On tour. Yeah.
He is in a golf course. If there's a golf course on the PGA Tour that suits him, this is it at 3M. This couldn't be a better suited golf course for him.
Where is this in Detroit?
No, this is Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay. Because he finished 3rd last year in Detroit. That's another golf course that he likes. All right, let's get to the card. See what you got.
Yeah, like I said, we got Jackson this week at 42-1. If you look at the value that you have,
that's
playing
great
well,
value.
Again,
yeah.
42-1. If you look at our card, we build our card, this is one of the longest golf courses on the PGA Tour. It's going to play over 7,500 par 71, the unstable par 71 that Tim hates. Tim hates this week because you're going to have to probably shoot 20 and it's par 71. He hates it. He's going to be bitching and complaining all show here this afternoon about why he hates this tournament.
6 o'clock
because of the unstable par 71.
Y'all tune in.
But I like him this week. I think he can make a ton of birdies. I think coming off last week, I think with the confidence that he certainly has, I love him this week at 42-1. Pearson Cootie, again, 44-1. Played solid last week. Coming in, makes a ton of birdies. This card is built by length. All these guys on this card are on the top 30 on the PGA Tour in driving distance. That was the big key that I built the card this week at 7,500 yards. Now I'm going to play. It's the weather up here has been a little bit shady. It's been raining. It's going to be humid. They're going to get a little cold snap the next few days, and it's going to warm up on the weekend. But the golf course, it's going to roll, but it's not, you're not playing at super, super high elevation. So length is the key. And Pearson hits it as far as, anybody on the PGA Tour, even though he's a little wee guy at 44-1, great value. Same with Mac Meisner, 45-1, one of the longer hitters on the PGA Tour, makes a ton of birdies. That combination of length and a lot of birdies, these guys fit that category. And at 45-1, I think Mac Meisner having a pretty good a pretty good spring, coming in kind of the meat of his season. He always plays well in the summer. 2-time Texas Open champion, can make a ton of birdies. 45-1, I like him. And Gary Woodland, 75-1. I think the length is going to help him. He missed the cut last week. Self-admittingly, probably he's saying that, I don't like missing cuts in major championships, but it probably served me well this week to get some rest, come back over, especially some of the kind of issues that Gary Woodland has in terms of travel and crowds and things like that. I think missing the cut's going to bode well for Gary Woodland. And obviously one of the top 5 longest hitters on the PGA Tour, getting that value at 75-1 for our ham sandwich pick. 2 top 10, Sungjae M plus 445. Great pick this. 445 for Sungjae M. Still probably sits there on the lower tier of top 30 on length, but one of the best ball strikers on the PGA Tour, plus 445 love. And Ben James played well last week in Dominican Republic, plus 460, one of the up-and-coming stars on the PGA Tour. We actually had him to win last week, faltered in the last round, couldn't get it done, only shot a couple under. You can't do that on the final round of the PGA Tour and expect to win. But 460 to finish in the top 10, I think he continues his good play. And we got a little resurgence here. 2 top 20s. We got Dirt Nap at plus 250 and Tony Finau, Sasquatch, at plus 260, coming back into some really good form, getting to a place. Tony Finau, past champion there. Jake kind of going through some personal stuff over the last 6 or 7 months with injuries. I think the two of the longest hitters on the PGA Tour. I think getting, back to this golf course with some good memories, Jake, of the last couple of years, finished in the top 10. I just need to see a little bit more out of him to put him a little bit higher up, whether it was top 10 or winners, but certainly fits in that top 20 category at 250 and 260. We're still in the red, JP. We're still not doing very well, but for standards of other handicappers, we're minus 1130, which is not a lot, but we've never been in this situation in a losing so far. We have this ever, really, but there's a lot of tournaments left, but we are 36-19-8 in our matchups. So 4-2 last week in our matchups. I'm exhausted the last 2 weeks, JP, with both back-to-back weeks with 2 events.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Glad to be back, just a single event to focus on the 3M championship.
I think you're going to get hot in a late season run to get back to the mean. Yep.
We did pick Kurt Kitayama last year to win the tournament. So, we have some success here. Handicapping this tournament. Kurt Kitayama, one of the longest hitters on the PGA Tour, certainly winning last year, kind of help us build our card for this year. I'm not so sure he goes back to back. I just don't like his form. Yeah. But again, building the card, making a ton of birdies, and having the link to be able to do that on a 7,500-yard golf course, that's where I kind of pinpointed my focus this week.
Love it. Jackson Suber on top of the card. We love that. Yep. Thanks, partner. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
From the Rough, coming up 5 o'clock Eastern tonight on all your fan stream sports.
6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central.
6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock. That is correct. You are correct, sir. My bad. So we can listen to before we watch the Rays game. Mm-hmm. All right. Our Buccaneers preview here for the offensive line. Sorry, we saved it till last, but it's a pretty obvious preview because hopefully, Lord willing, these guys freaking stay healthy because the whole season depends upon it. I mean, after what we saw last year, Timmy, that's not even a crazy thing to say. But the health of this offensive line is absolutely paramount to the success of this team. You need to look just as far back as the last couple of years and the dramatic difference offensively. Yes, Grizzard was a first-year coordinator last year. Liam Cohen obviously had a lot more experience, but the health of the offensive line was a key contributor. It was tough for Grizzard to try to mix and match things when you have constant pressure up the middle. The guard positions were terrible, and the center suffered from that. But now you got the whole group back together. Luke Gedeke at right tackle continues to ascend as one of the better right tackles in the game. Staying healthy is critical for him. One of the best run blockers in all of football, sets the tone for the Buccaneers in terms of their physical running game. Cody Mock back at right guard is bigger and stronger. The knee is fully recovered. He's ready to go. I think he could have his best season this year if he can stay healthy. And, don't forget the chemistry between Cody Mock and Luke Gedeke is key. Chemistry in the offensive line is everything. And now you've got the entire group back together. And I really do think it's the strength of the team. And I think it's maybe the best unit segment that they have in terms of league-wide ranking. I would put them as the top 3 offensive line. And that brings us to Graham Barton at center. And I know a lot of people kind of shit on Graham last year, and he did not have a great year. He was overpowered at times. But when you talk to him, and we've heard him talk in the offseason, when you're playing with 2 inexperienced guys and 2 not very talented guys in Feeney and forget who the other guy was, thankfully, it's gonna strain you. And it was only his second year playing center. When he started the season having to get kicked out to left tackle. I mean, that's a lot to ask of a dude. And it was a tough season for him. But, his rookie season, I thought, was really, really good. He was not trending towards being a Pro Bowl center, and I think he gets back to that if he can work with Bredesen at left guard and Cody Mock consistently. Okay, that brings you to the left tackle, who is the best in the game, and Tristan Wirfs, in my opinion. Obviously coming off, or he missed the first few games last year. At times, that wasn't the Tristan Wirfs that we know and love. And he battled through it, but he is completely healthy now. If you've been watching his Instagram and some of the video of him and what he's been doing in the weight room, he's healthy again. He is healthy again and throwing around, what was it, 365? I think he was cleaning, like whoosh, 365 pounds. Like,
not even human.
It's not human. And he's ready to go. So I think this offensive line is the strength of the team. I think Zach Robinson knows how to run the football, and he has much more experience in terms of calling those runs. The offensive line coaching staff is intact and ready to go. This to me is the best group that the Bucs have, and I think if Bucky can stay healthy mentally and physically, and the addition of Gainwell, this is an offensive line and a running game with Sean Tucker and Josh Williams. I think is the number 4 guy that could be explosive and carry this team in a lot of different ways. So I'm very excited about this offensive line. And I will say that when you go to the backups, Ben Chikwuma is what a find that guy was. An undrafted free agent who's now becomes your swing tackle and is really, really good and athletic and is only going to get better. Fantastic story. Justin Schooley comes back as another backup tackle. At least you got the guy that's been here before and done it when we were really, really good. Dan Feeney is still your backup at right guard. Not thrilled about that. Elijah Klein at left guard. There's still not a whole lot of depth there. So those 2 guards have got to stay healthy. They drafted Billy Schroth out of Notre Dame, stout guard. Not a tremendous athlete, but a very serviceable, big, smart guy. Probably better than the other 2 backup guards, and maybe become that swing guard that has to fill in. So, Timmy, to me, this is the strength of the team, and I think it's obvious. And we even talked about pass protection. This allows Baker to be able to step up into the pocket, not get that pressure in front of him. As a shorter quarterback, you need to be able to step into those throws, and that gives him more confidence in the passing game as well.
Yeah, and it's funny you talked about chemistry with this unit, but I think what a lot of people are forgetting is this unit didn't play together at all last year.
Not one game.
Not one snap.
Nope.
All together last year, of course, with Wirfs missing the first 3 games with his knee surgery. Mock, of course, went down in week 2. Bredesen got on IR. Gedeke missed significant time. They're all supposed to be healthy now. We got to keep that health. As far as the unit as a whole, I definitely think this is a top 10 in the NFL unit, probably top 5. You've got elite tackles with, of course, Wirfs as your cornerstone on the offensive line. Gedeke's developed into a very, very high-end right tackle and just got paid for it. The return of Cody Mock is tremendous. He's a top 20 guard in the league for sure when he's healthy. And you throw in, if he's healthy, his run blocking is elite, I think, too, which will help Bucky. To me, the biggest question mark, probably as well as everyone's, is Barton. Can he be a breakout guy? He's got to be a breakout guy this year because your offensive line is only as strong as your weakest link. And to me, Barton is the weak link here. Not to say that that's definitely going to be the case this year. I just think he needs to have a breakout year, I think, for this unit to be really elite.
Well, I thought he was good in his rookie year. To me, it's just getting back to that. He doesn't need to be super special and better. If he can just be what he was his rookie year, I think, and he's bigger, smarter, more experienced. That means better. This could be the best version of this offensive line we've ever seen. And 2 years ago, it was outstanding.
Yep.
And this could be better because Cody Mount is bigger and better, I think. All of them are better. And Tristan Wirfs settling in at left tackle. This could be the best version we've ever seen. And that's exciting. It's really exciting. Having a dominant offensive line in this league is absolutely critical and to great success. And when you have that and they stay healthy, big things can happen. So I'm excited about that.
My fear, though, I mean, just like everybody, not to bring the discussion down, but man, one significant injury to any of those guys with your depth where it is, again, I don't love the depth, but man, you could go from a top 10 to a bottom 10 real quick.
I think if something were to happen to Gedeke and Chikwuma had to play, I think you'd be okay. And I think if something happened to Wirfs and Chikwuma had to play, you'd be less okay, but I think you can get there because I believe in Chikwuma. He's that good of an athlete and he's learning. So I think that you can't losing to Tristan Wirfs is just gross. It's gross. You don't want to think about it. But I think there's a little bit, if a guard goes down, we're fucked. We're completely fucked. Unless this rookie can come up and play. And if Barton were to go down and Bredesen had to move over and we'd have to replace a guard, I think we might be able to get through that. But yeah, health is absolutely critical to this group, as with every group. But
anybody, yeah,
it's the strength of your team. So, hey, a couple quick comments here. Alex from Florida, haven't seen you in. Welcome. So JP grabbed Chris Godwin prop on Hard Rock last night, over 675 yards for the season. Feels like free money.
Wow, yeah.
That is free money. If he stays healthy, he does that in his sleep. Like, he could be over 600 yards by week 8. Yeah. If he's healthy. He's going to get a shit ton of targets.
Why would he not be? Like, what's the thought behind that?
Just, he's been injured. If he gets injured, and it all goes out the window. Joel Forsland says, JP, things are bad at FSU, but whose fault is it that they're stuck with Norvell? Who answers for that? Can't buy him out. What other big program has that problem? None. I think it's a little bit unique to Florida State. Yeah, Texas A&M bought out Jimbo, but, there's been some big buyouts, but clearly none bigger than Norvell. Whose fault is it? I hate to point a finger at anybody, to be quite honest, because who didn't want to sign Mike Norvell after he went 13-0?
Yeah.
I mean, it just, the needle was pointing up. Hell, Alabama wanted him. He turned down Alabama. I mean, in hindsight, could Florida State, had he gone to Alabama, I have it on good authority, very good authority, that Lane Kiffin would have been the Florida State coach had Norvell gone to Alabama at that time. So,
might have been the best thing that could have happened to Florida State.
But the board of trustees wanted to keep Norvell, and why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they at that point?
Continuity.
Yeah. Now, in hindsight, did he handle the snub very well with the Orange Bowl? No. And the fact that he couldn't rally his troops to go play that game was probably something we shouldn't have overlooked. So Forsland says, blame Norvell all you want, but even when he's finally fired, there's a huge hole to dig out of that Norvell didn't dig. I disagree with that, Joel. I will say that Norvell has helped dig that hole. Come on now. He's a terrible recruiter. He's never put the right recruiting people in place since the day he got here. And that's a huge part of it. I don't think he's authentic. Yeah, I think part of it is Norvell's fault. He wants to rely on the portal, and he can't pick a quarterback. He's been terrible at picking quarterbacks. That's on him. So I would disagree with you. I know what you're saying. It's not all his fault. It's not all his fault by far. But I think we're putting too much into the administration is horrible and it's all on them. I don't think that's the case. I think Norvell he's a terrible game coach. Terrible. His in-game decisions are laughable at times. So I would disagree with you. We just can't move on fast enough. And now you want to talk about we can't afford to buy out. Part of what that was last year was if we'd have gotten the right guy, if we could have gotten Lane Kiffin again, and we were talking to him before he went to LSU. Obviously, he's going to take LSU over Florida State. That's a no-brainer. But we were in the game to get him again, and had we been able to secure Lane Kiffin, we would have been able to afford the buyout. We'd have found the money.
Maybe you can get him after LSU fires him in a couple of years.
But if you don't have a great answer, if you don't have a great, who are we going to hire? Just go get another retread and pay until we find out have a home run hire. We're not going to pay the buyout. I think that's fair. I think that's smart. It sucks to be in this position, but there is a limit to the money. Like, people don't want to see this, but there are programs all over. In fact, most programs in America right now are running heavily in the red because of NIL. Heavily in the red.
Well, and coaches' salaries.
And coaches' salaries and pay and buyouts and all that bullshit. So, it's got to stop at some point. This is just crazy. It's crazy.
You can't have like 3 ex-coaches on your payroll that you're paying because you had to pay him to leave. I mean, that's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, guys, great stuff as always. Thank you all for listening and subscribing. Please visit our sponsors. Shoot them a note. Tell them you love them. Thanks for sponsoring our show. Don't forget to go to the YouTube page and sign up to be a Peterman or a VI Peterman. Thank you guys so much. We're going to have a lot of stuff for training camp, exclusive shows just for you. So announcements to come. We're working on all that this week. So thank you guys so much again. Timmy, great job. We're hoping to get some surprise guests the next couple of days. I'm working on a couple of big things, so stay tuned for that. We will see you tomorrow. Go Rays.
Yeah.